Welcome back for the well-anticipated Plunderstorm review. I'm joined today by Orkky. Say hello, Orkky.
Oh, hi.
Oh my god, you're so excited, I can tell.
I'm
So,
very excited. I
so to,
love Plunderstorm.
so to start off, we'll go over like each of our individual experience with Plunderstorm and and then what we thought about it and stuff like that. So for me personally, I mainly played duos. I played a couple singles here and there, but mainly duos. I will say duos was definitely sweatier. What about you, Orkky?
I mean, I think I play both of them, like duos and solos. I think they're both fun, even though duos is just insanely sweaty.
Yeah. Because how much plunder did you end up with? Because I think I'm at about 100k. I just finished the
I
rewards
got I
track.
got to like 300,000.
That's pretty good.
That's a lot. That's
Yeah, the
not enough.
million would have taken ages, eh? Oh my gosh.
The million would take a lot longer in subs that now. So
Yeah. But what are your thoughts on Plunderstorm? Like beginning at the very start of Plunderstorm, what did you think? Because
the very
I thought it
start,
was
I
okay, but
thought it
there was some glaring issues, like the flame thing. For me, it was really annoying how everyone was the flame thing. But what did you think?
I thought it was pretty, and I was hyped to start before the servers came up, and then when it came out, I was like, this is okay. And I was like, oh my god, this is horrible because it's laggy. And then, it was still fine. And then they did balances. And in the middle of it, I was like, this is pretty cool because everyone was kind of learning the game. It's really fun. Everyone was just kind of putting together random builds and just throwing whatever stuff at you. And then it turns into everyone's got a lightning bulwark. Everyone's got, at the end game, everyone's got a lightning bulwark. Everyone's got like or Fey or Fade to Shadow, or they've got
Yeah, Faye was insane when the game
just
came out.
they've got everything. They got all the things that counter it, so you're just spending a game running around like trying to wait till someone messes up first.
It did feel like early on with like the flame whirl or whatever it is being so good and Faye being so good, you
Oh, and
really, really, really needed those in your endgame build, or you had to
but
build
something
around
was nice
countering it.
about the nice thing about that was if someone was just using flame wheel, you could just put down some traps and that was it.
True,
Like
I
they
I,
just
I actually like the traps.
that was it. That was it. You just put down some traps and they would just stand there and you could just freely kill them with anything you wanted. But it's fine now.
Yeah, well, after the first wave of balance changes, so after they not the most recent stuff because I haven't played since after the Hunter's Chains and the Earthquake change, for example. But like just in the middle, like let's say like 2 weeks after, how do you think the meta developed? The balance changes, like they nerfed Flame World, they started nerfing Fae. How do you think that went? Because I personally I do think all the initial nerfs and buffs were pretty good. Like everything that got buffed probably needed a buff. Everything that got nerfed probably needed a nerf.
Playing on OC with 200 MS, I really miss the like second of immunity to damage from Fae, and I can still be aggressive. Now I have to kind of just play a lot better than them. The
Hmm.
meta's fine. It's just kind of disgusting that everyone's kind of running the same thing, but there's not that many abilities, so
Yeah, that's true.
there's not much you can do
I
about
do
that.
think just learning how to play the early game was probably the biggest thing for us, was like
It
figuring
is
out,
the biggest.
like, for example, what we do is we land next to an elite, not on the elite, next to the elite, killing a random mob because the first mob will always drop power. We'll pick that up, then we'll go kill the elite, and then we AoE everything down afterwards,
Yeah,
right? Just something simple like
learning that
that
was good.
basically made us able to fight people early on, which is another topic, but we'll get into that later. But
That's a
that's
later
better. How do
topic.
you think about Plunderstorm right now, though? Right now, as of right now, because I think it's getting a bit. It's as people stop playing it, they've done their rewards track. They'll go play other things. It's definitely gotten a lot sweatier in the lobbies I'm in anyway. Like a lot,
It's
you
a
can tell people are
lot
playing,
sweeter.
yeah, a lot more optimally.
Everyone in duos is just they're going to they're going to combo you. You're not just fighting one of them. If one of them's bad, you have a chance. Like, if they're playing like slightly okay. But if it's two like pretty decent people, you're playing a completely different game of Plunderstorm.
Yeah, for sure. Like some
It's nuts.
lobbies, you can feel it when we were playing together. Some lobbies were just so easy, and some lobbies are just a struggle. Not even because of what we've done or what's happening to our characters, or like we're not like underleveled or anything. Just the people who are left in like the final five or final six are fucking sweating. And you're just like, oh my fucking god! Like, no, I can't hit any. In certain lobbies, I can't hit anyone with like one of my favorite combos is the quake into the
Yeah.
star bomb. I can't hit anyone. Like everyone has shield, everyone's ready. Like, oh,
There
you've quaked me. I now have time to shield, or I now have time to night fade or dash or something. And it's like, oh my god, I'm just doing nothing.
there is nothing more tilting, in my opinion, than being just outside the line. You've walked, you have made your effort to walk outside of it, and you still got hit by it.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
that's just because we play with ping. Like I'm like 180 ping, you're at like
obviously that's
220 ping or something. Because
it's
the NA
it's
servers and we're not
really
NA.
really annoying. Yeah,
But
that part sucks.
what do you think Plunderstorm did well? I think it's a good game mode. I think it's really fun. I think it's genuinely really fun. I haven't tried trios yet. Des actually said
I
she
haven't
wanted to
tried
try
Trio.
trios sometime, but see how that
We can
goes.
try that.
But what do you think? Plunderstorm did really well. I
I
think
think it's unique. It's different.
yeah, for
I
sure.
was expecting just from a patch. I was expecting here's a new rep farm. Just go do that. It's just gonna be like
I thought it
whatever.
was
It's gonna
gonna
be
just be a
pilot
free for all
related.
BG and WoW, to be honest, which is gonna suck because like
That's
I don't
probably
play
for
a
the
rogue, so or like
that's
something like
probably for
that.
the future. But I was glad it wasn't just this. I was expecting the here's like 10 minutes of content that's going to be stretched out to like 40 hours of just repeating it over and over. They do every time with like the archives and the super bloom, I guess, at this point. Just
True.
anything like I was expecting that, but it was different, and I played it a lot. I think I have like I don't know how much 300,000 plunder equivalents to, but that's how much hours in time.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I think the reward system definitely after the initial changes where they made you able to get the daily thing from doing the games, that
yeah,
basically
the
solved a lot of
rewards are
problems people
good.
had. Like you could load into the
I
game
think
if
they're
you
good.
really didn't want to play the game, you could load into the game, finish the mission, get to like level 6 and just kill yourself in game and just go to another one. Or you can
Yeah,
play it out,
that
right? If you're playing it out, it's
they
optimal,
made
but if
it.
you really don't want to.
Yeah, something I think people should have realized is that playing out the game and just playing better, just like going for the win actually gets you more. If you just got the win, you got a lot more
Yeah,
than
I
just
think I think a lot of these
turbo
people
dying
saying
at
that
like 1,000 an
I
hour,
think a lot of the people
5,000
who
an hour.
hated the game either probably didn't want to put effort into it or weren't very good at it, so they probably couldn't see that
That's
as a
that's
possibility.
fine.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is this isn't WoW PvP where you've got to be checking DRs. There
Where,
is no DRs. When I get
where's
stunned by,
my Gladius arena? Where's that at?
to be honest, probably. I mean, I would love to know how many times I've been stunned in the last 2 seconds because you get windstormed and then you get quaking leaped and then someone hits you with like an earthbreaker and you can't just stop that if you don't have fade
Hmm.
to shadow because you can't even fade to shadow out of a stun. You're just dead. Like you're just okay.
Yeah,
I've
if
been
you get like
stunned for 6 whole
tornadoed,
seconds. Good.
I forget the skill, but it's like the utility one where it's like,
Windstorm.
yeah, windstorm. That's brutal. If you get hit by that in duo, it's like it's almost a death sentence.
It's pretty much death because someone's charging it like an orb and they're doing so. It's a whole thing.
Yeah. What do you think the negatives of Plunderstorm were? Well, I'll go first. I think, like, especially early on, the leveling, early on in Plunderstorm's life, the leveling was brutal. Like,
Mm.
you had to PvE the whole game to have a chance at the end. And I think even now,
It's
it's much better now. It is much, much, much better. But if someone decides to fight you early, it feels kind of like it doesn't feel worth to fight early. Like you're gonna waste so much
yep.
against people who are like actually trying to run away. If people are just gonna suicide into you, that's different. But if they're like if they're gonna hit you and then run away and then come back and do that like rat crap where they're just hit and running, you just
Mhm.
waste so much time for both parties. It puts both parties so far behind because the early levels are so important. Like just landing it like a farm and farming it, you're level like 6 or 7 before you leave. That's massive, right?
It's an insane advantage just doing that. Yeah,
Like I think
but
in the footage
people
that's
fight.
playing right now, like I'm level I think at the start I'm level like 6 pretty early on, and then I'm just fighting non-stop for like 6 minutes, and I'm still
There
level
is
8,
some points.
but
There's some points on leveling that seems really odd. Like when we play sometimes where like we farm the entire time, we didn't even hit anyone, and somehow some other group of people are like level
th-
8,
yeah,
and it's
I
like
think that
we
does
just started the
they've done a
round.
lot of good changes. Like the Wiverbark village used to be like the east side of the map really it was
Yeah,
pretty dead. Like there
the
wasn't enough
right
mod
side
count,
was
wasn't
pretty
enough
dead.
elites. I still feel like the right side's not as good as the left side. The left side's just so full of mobs, especially like left of the farm
It's
area at
hard to
least.
compete with. It's hard to compete with the far left farm. It's hard to compete with Stromgard because you go from like the farm area to like the high perch to the elementals to like there's just the big fields and everything. It's
Yeah,
and
just being
also
able to
the
group up
Witherbug mobs
mobs is
too.
like so big. Like group up the mobs for AoE them down. It's just massive. Like you just get tons of levels. It's really
Witherbug
quick.
Village
I think
also
it's
has
better
like some of the
now.
most annoying mobs.
Yeah, the
It has
troll
the
totem mobs.
polymorphing ones.
Yeah,
Yeah, although I think the
and I do think
elemental stuff's
the troll elites are harder than the other elites. Most other elites are just like walk
yeah.
away, hit them, sidestep them, and then the troll elites are like you can get hit if you're not paying attention, and it does do a fair bit of
Yeah,
damage too, especially in an early game. Any other negatives you can think of? I think it's. I mean,
it comes
other
back
than
to
not having
level.
OC servers, I don't know how realistic that
OC
is.
says is a big one. I don't know why there is, but I think it comes back to leveling. But at the same time, when it comes to leveling, I think it's like that's its thing. I don't like the levels fully. I'm like 50-50 on them because it's really annoying to be better than someone or just playing quite well. And it's just because you're level 7 because you didn't PvE the entire time, or you didn't get as many fights as them, a minute or so ago. And you're just done for because their abilities do like a couple more damage than yours, and it's really you're
Yeah,
just like,
I
okay,
think they have. I think they have taken
this
steps of
sucks.
making PvP more rewarding. Because early on, it definitely
Yeah,
felt like you didn't want to fight until the
early
final
on it was
circle.
PvE,
Yeah,
and then
I still think it has a little bit of a place. Like it's basically just to spread out the fighting so it lasts longer. Like
yeah, of course.
excuse me,
And then I
which I think is
think
really good.
the
And like
next one is
oh, go ahead.
Rymar.
Rhymer is a negative.
Rymar is so annoying. There's nothing more annoying than fighting and just someone's just hitting you from really far away. They're not doing anything.
Oh yeah, they're
It's
just
just you
dinging you and
can't
running
heal,
away.
and then you have to wait
Yeah,
30 seconds for it to come off cooldown. And it's just
yeah.
tilting.
Well then,
Uh,
as because we're actually going on for 11 minutes. We've got 2 minutes left till the footage ends. Spoilers. What do you think? If you could change anything in Plunderstorm, what would it be? Because personally, the one thing I like they added a kill count. I think they should add a damage count. I think
okay,
a
yeah,
damage
kill
count would be
count
really
damage.
fun, just to be like, hey, I've done this much damage this time, and you've done this much damage. Something like a scoreboard, just for like the party. It doesn't have to be for the whole lobby, obviously. Just for like the party, that'd be fun to just see. Like, so I've done this much
I
damage, or
do think there
you know
could
what I
be
mean?
a bit more tracking because sometimes it is hard to know, especially before we got the kill counter, to know how good you actually were. So
Yeah. And can you think of anything else?
not really. It's kind of. I think it's fine as a game mode. I think it should just be updated for. I had the idea originally that it should just be updated with the expansion. Like if it's War Within, it should be War Within kind of related. They should just take a thing out of Hearthstone and just make it whatever. One time instead of it being pirates, like it's called Plunderstorm, just keep Plunderstorm, whatever. Do like Legion based, and then like Horde versus Alliance based, or then make it Nazjatar based, make it like just random things, and then you can just throw as the renown reward. It's those rewards that we can use in Dragonflight.
Yeah, I think as long as they bring it back, I think they should bring it back. I'm excited for them to bring it back. But as long as there's some sort of new reward track, I think just something. It doesn't have to be 40 levels. Like it could just be
If it
20 levels and it take as much time. Like, it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Just some reason that people to play it and have a go, right?